Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ms. Blanco. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Last week there was no new vlog just because it was a 3-day school week. On Thursday we had a professional development day at my sister campus, and on Friday it was a staff and student holiday. So the staff was able to enjoy a 3-day weekend, which was so nice. And the students was able to enjoy a 4-day weekend, which I hope they enjoyed, because the next full holiday or break is not until November, which is Thanksgiving break. Now I do have a quick list right here on Google Keep that I want to update you guys, so I'll show you guys that in just a few moments. But guys, I have got to tell you what happened yesterday. It was so crazy. By the time it was 1 o'clock, I had 5 students left. If you have followed me on my Instagram, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the school closure that happened yesterday. Not because there was no internet, not because there was no lights, but because there was no water. You heard right. The Houston, something happened, but the city of Houston shut off the water, so I think they could repair something. Some of my kids told me that there was a pipe burst. I have no idea what happened. I did not see it on the news. I didn't hear any news report, nothing. But apparently it was around 8:30. One of my students went to the restroom and said, "Hey, Ms. Blanco, there's no water." I went to go check. Lo and behold, nothing. Not a drip, not a drizzle, nothing. Completely shut off. So I was like, okay, maybe let me go ahead and just close the restroom, maybe just 15 minutes. Because there have been a few times, especially throughout construction earlier the month, where they did have to shut off the water because they were working with main pipes or just landlines or something about that sort. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not the greatest at putting my radio on. Let me see what channel it is. It's on channel 10 and we're supposed to be on channel 9. So let me put that back before I forget in the morning. And then look, right now it's off. Y'all, I am the worst at putting back my radio fully volumed and the right channel. So that's my fault. I need to get better at that, because maybe they said something in the announcements, which is normally from 8 to 8:10, but because I had it off, I didn't hear anything. So maybe I missed it. So I was like, okay, let me just put an out of service sign for about 15 to 30 minutes. I'll just tell the kids, just hold on. It's like 8:30 in the morning. Hopefully you don't need to go to the restroom in that time. And then around 9 o'clock, that's when they officially made the announcement. I went to the restroom, checked, nothing, no water, nothing yet. That's when they officially made an announcement saying like, hey guys, there is no water at all. Like the whole area around our school, no water. A pipe burst, something happened. So she said the city of Houston is projected to just spend an hour. They'll get it replaced by 10 o'clock. Okay, that's fine. So still out of service. The kids, you know, they're kind of like, I need to go to the restroom. But I'm like, just hold it, hon. We don't have any water. And then they were trying to like, yo, can't we just use hand sanitizer? No. Hand sanitizer is not a replacement for soap and water. No. So I just completely shut it off. We'll just, hopefully they'll come back at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock rolls by, everything's fine. Still no water. Okay, so they call again. Hey, do you guys know how projected, how long you'll be? They have no idea. The time is now 10:45. More kids are starting to ask to go to the restroom, and I keep saying, no guys, there's no running water. You're not able to wash your hands and with soap and water. So then by 11 o'clock, that is when the district office officially said, guys, it's been more than 3 hours. We cannot wait any longer. We're gonna have to close the school. So 11 o'clock, they said, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to have early lunch. You're gonna eat in the classroom, and then around 11:15, I want you to start calling your parents, put them on Class Dojo, message them, email them, whatever your communication is. Like I'm holding the phone right here. I went ahead and sent a message on Class Dojo, which, by the way, I don't know what happened with Amazon or UPS or Clever or Class Dojo, but apparently Class Dojo was also having trouble on its own. I even took a picture right here of it having like communication problems. Luckily, I was able to connect to Class Dojo using my phone, but somehow the internet was just not working either on Clever or on Class Dojo. So that was another hurdle to get through. 11:15, we went to go get our lunch. We came back, started eating in the classroom. 5 minutes later, at 11:20, my first student officially left for the school closure. So then at this point, I saw more parents come in. I started talking to the students because like, oh, you're going home early, nothing to it, right? So at this point, my students did not know that it was because of the school closure. So I sat right here, I talked to them and saying, hey guys, because there is no water, the public health says you cannot go without water for about 3 to 4 hours. So we're officially going to call your parents to send you home. You know, they're all excited like, yeah, we get to go home, but it's because they don't realize the gravity of the situation, that, you know, that's how people get germs and spread diseases and all that, you know, jazz. So about 11:30 to 12 o'clock, I had about 15 students leave. We had a whole list. The kids were eating, they were watching a movie. I was like, you know, we're not going to switch anymore. I was able to do 2 out of the 3 classes before this whole situation came up. So at least I was able to get a good part of the day done. So then around 12:30, I noticed I had about 6 or 7 I did not plan that, I promise. About 6 or 7 students were left. I started calling parents. You guys saw that little clip right there. And I said, hey, like, we have a school closure. Are you on your way to come pick them up? Obviously, parents are working, so they're trying to get home early from their bosses or get permission to come here. And about 1 o'clock, I had about 5 students left. 1:30 is when my last student left for the day. So that was crazy. And the more craziest thing was teachers were also able to leave. So the principal said as soon as all your students are gone, you are able to leave as well. Now, me being me, I decided to stay. One, I needed to catch up. Number one, I caught up on grades. So grades up to this week are updated, good to go. And then the second thing that I also did is I updated the ELL accommodation checklist, the ones that look like these. If you are in Texas, you probably have seen them a million thousand times. I do this every single year for the past 6 years. I'm sick and tired of it, but I had to do it nonetheless. So that took about a good hour. Around 2:45, that is actually when I decided to leave and get out of here. I got some lunch on the way, and then I was at home by 3:30 and enjoyed the rest of the day with cookies. So that was a quick and interesting turn of events. I have never would have thought that our water would have shut off and we would have had a school closure, but it did happen. And even like today, the kids were like, is the water back on? I was like, yes, it's back on. And they were like, oh, but I was like, guys, come on. Like, kids don't understand that you have to have running water to wash your hands after you use the restroom. And yes, the whole restroom was off. By like 11:30, kids were like, I gotta go. But I'm like, guys, you cannot go. Hold it. So that was a whole thing. So now let me go ahead and update you guys on a few things around the classroom. Here's my little checklist that I made on Google Keep so I could make sure I remind myself of what to talk about when I next see you guys. First things first, this is the anchor chart area. I made this one last week. Just all the 5 strategies that we have done. Today we learned about distributive property as well as reviewed area model, and we also taught standard algorithm yesterday and reviewed it today. Do you guys remember that I had some Halloween Klingons here and here on the side of the board, as well as some for the window? Well, unfortunately, last week they did tell me that I have to take them down just because a lot of students do not celebrate Halloween. A lot of students religiously don't like it. So I had to take them down. I gave them to the students if they were religiously okay with it, as long as they celebrate Halloween. So I gave them to the kids to take home. The only Halloween thing I still have in my classroom is the dog that I bought from Kroger. His name is Bowie after Bluey, so I'm still gonna keep him up here just for now. If district comes in, I'll take it down, but admin has come in here. They haven't said anything, but they did mention about the stickers, just not Bowie. Now, we actually have an update on the field trip. At first, we just had to give a date, but then they told me, oh, Ms. Blanco, district doesn't want to do it anymore, so then I had to do it. But then I told my principal, hey, listen, it's a lot of work. Can you help me out? So then they decided to take it over. So we are officially going to the Moody Gardens on, I think, 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. I just got the permission slip, so I'm going to pass them out tomorrow, so that way they have about a week or two to start turning them in. We have one cute update about the fall decor. Courtesy of my mom, she was able to give me some adorable little acorns and pine cones to put in my fall display. Mentioned in the previous vlog that I did wanted to get some more books for dear time, and I was able to last week get some more, so now we have a couple more. The students really love the 3D books, and I do have 3D glasses, and then we have another one that I found in the library, 3D planets, and they're just so fun and exciting. We have another one that's about the snake, and then this one we have the dinosaurs. This one's not a 3D book, but they're loving dinosaurs. And then we have like these box sets for like the boys and the girls, because I tell them boys and girls can like the same thing. We have like the gaming books, and then these cute little ones. I see my boys for like these 2 owl diaries. They're so cute. All of these different books available. These are all new. We have more books like Predators, and it's just so fun. Not so ordinary science that they can do. And I just really love that. Look, I even have a Spanish book. That's so cool for my Spanish students, knowing that Spanish is not a barrier. You can love books with Spanish words too. We are currently on lesson 11. We do have a possible Friday test just because we do have Crime Stoppers coming in tomorrow for 4th grade. Today they came in for 3rd grade, and then Thursday 5th grade will have Crime Stoppers. So I'm just not sure if that will mess up any lessons, but so far on Wednesday tomorrow we'll take lesson 12. On Thursday we'll do lesson 13, and then our mid-module 3 test will be on Friday, just to see who still needs help with multiplication and perimeter and area. Some adorable little gifts that I have gotten. Guys, I don't know about you. I think I'm almost done. I think I need one more. But my students are obsessed with giving me these McDonald's K-pop or BTS little bobbleheads or something. And I almost have all of them. Even they gave me like the cards here. I know that McDonald's has moved on to the Monopoly, but a lot of students are giving me their own personal ones that they have received. So look how cute. Isn't that so cute, y'all? I almost have all of them. And then I got these little charms from another student, and then this little dog toy. So very, very personality wise here. Quickly before I leave, I do want to talk about something that is on the Google Keep list. This right here is my index card for my extra practice and my codes for iExcel. So I look up the lesson for the day, I write the code, and then this is so much easier than them searching it from your teacher. So I give them the code, and then they're able to go directly to the lesson. So something on the list was called the 15-day challenge. Admin, district, and teachers alike, we all noticed that modules 1 through 7, even though they're amazing and they do pace really well, it goes until the end of the year, like May. But unfortunately, STAR, the big test that really counts for everything in life, is in April. So we're not gonna make it for the STAR test unless we start skipping lessons. So the 15-day challenge is basically go through the modules 3, 4, all the rest, and figure out what lessons can you skip, what lessons are just kind of like, maybe that's not as important as this lesson. So on Thursday, with our professional development, I'll even take a little picture right here. I'll post it. We talked about what are some lessons that we can skip. So we decided we're going to skip lesson 17. We also decided we're going to skip lesson 22. I think there was another one over here. We're going to also skip lesson 16, just because, yes, they are important, but they're just not as important or as necessary that you will need for STAR. Also, I did see that a lot of these lessons are a repeat of the previous lesson. For example, lesson 9, it was about partial products as well as standard algorithm and how they connect. So all of this was standard algorithm, standard algorithm, standard algorithm. And then if you go to lesson 10, it's the exact same thing. Standard algorithm, just with bigger numbers, like 3 to 4 digit. Same thing, standard algorithm, standard algorithm, standard algorithm. So we saw that lesson 9 and 10 were pretty much the same. So if you know lesson 9, you'll learn lesson 10. So then we decided to skip lesson 10, move on to lesson 11, which I did love this one, because this one combined all the strategies except place value into one. Partial products, standard algorithm, area model, distributive property, which they learned today, and then putting it all together and seeing how it connects, word problems. Tomorrow, which is lesson 12, they absolutely cannot miss. This one is a readiness standard, which you cannot skip at all. So we did look at the TEKS as well. This one is going to be comparing like strip diagrams. I call this comparison strip diagrams. And then lesson 13 is more normal strip diagrams with still some comparing. There's even a sprint here. So a lot of word problems, which as we know on the STAR test or on the Math Girl test or on the mid modules, it's going to be pretty much all word problems. In fact, let me show you the test. It's going to be about, let's see, I think it was 13 questions. It has perimeter and area, which was the lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3 of module 3. And then pretty much the rest is multiplication. They can use any strategy that they like, area model, but I'll say you can use like partial products, whatever method you like, word problems. So this is definitely going to be a combination of everything that we have taught so far. After lesson 13 and after the mid-module, everyone's favorite lesson to teach, division. So it starts off pretty easy. They're going to draw dots. They're going to draw perimeter and area boxes to kind of see how it connects, and then so on, and then place value. They love doing the place value. Some will skip. We'll do area model. It'll go back. Guys, look at all this. This is crazy. I see number bonds. All this is blue bonnet. Look how sad and boring and no color at all. So look at that. Look at that. Y'all, look at that. That's good. Yeah, I can't even focus. That is crazy. Real crazy. I'm gonna have to teach that, guys. Help me out here. I'm gonna go home now, but before I do, here is a glance. And yes, I know the time. Okay, leave me alone. I'm gonna leave as soon as I finish this part right here. This is what the classroom looks like. The students are still loving this back table, especially for my small group table, because all they have to do is just look up here. One thing that I do want to mention is I am starting to see them use it less and less because they are starting to become more confident with their multiplication facts. And once they learn this, they're able to do even like 70 times 20 because that scared them. At first they were doing 7 times 2, 14, but then they forgot to do the 0, 0. So it's a mess, but now they're actually starting to become more confident, and this is going to help them a lot when starting division as well. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here. Again, sorry about not having a weekly vlog last week. Last week it was pretty much very boring and very monotone. I came in, did my job, taught the kids, and then left. The only thing that was new last week were the anchor chart, the new books, and then update on the field trip. But other than that, it was pretty much the quickest 3 days, and I'm very happy that we had a 3-day weekend. The kids had 4-day weekend, but nonetheless I feel like we're going back in the groove. Next week is Halloween week, so that'll be interesting. And yes, we are doing like spirit days, and they do want the staff to participate. So we talking about crazy hair day, cowboy attire. I think one was like I think it was like bright colors or like neon colors. I can't remember the other one, crazy sock day or something like that. And then on Friday we're gonna have our fall festival, so we're still expected to teach that day. And we might just have a review that day. I'm not quite sure. I haven't planned that far in ahead, but a review, and then we'll do our fall festival. Yes, it's like Halloween. They can bring their Halloween costume. Last year a lot of kids wore their Halloween costume, and then if their parents want to come in and watch them play, they can do that. We're gonna get like bouncy houses, we're gonna get like dancing, a DJ, food, party, everything crazy, and then they can go home, and then we'll go home, and then it'll be Halloween night, and then woohoo, Halloween is on a Friday this year, so y'all know what that means. Saturday and Sunday they can eat all candy they want, and they don't have to come see it. So that is awesome. I think this is the first year in a while that Halloween is on a Friday, and I also think I did see it somewhere, like on TikTok or Instagram or somewhere, that a lot of major events are happening on Fridays this year. So I can't remember, like maybe Valentine's Day, I don't know, I gotta look it up, but I know for sure that Halloween is on a Friday, so we are so excited. And then our field trip is also on a Friday, so that's also exciting. They come in, parents take them home, y'all go home, bye. That's gonna be so fun. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I most likely will post this one so you guys can see what has been happening around the classroom. I'm not sure if anything interesting will happen tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, but I will keep you guys updated just a few minutes so you guys can see a week in the life of Wong, even though it's not very interesting, but nonetheless I still want to update you guys on just aspects of my life. Bye guys.
You only had a bucket and a cardboard. What should you do? Escapar, que más? No.
3,000 times his size. His only instinct to destroy everything he touches.
Sí. Ok, está bien. No se preocupe. Ok, bye. Adiós. Alright, in a little while, honey.